What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zach the Mac here with another video. Here's a video that I really love when it comes to business. So as anyone knows, I work in brand management, and specifically I'm always reading the LinkedIn Digest. If you ever want to be looked at as quote unquote hip, right, when it comes to the business world, the LinkedIn Digest, to me, in my opinion, is an amazing tool. And as I was reading the LinkedIn Digest one time, and I saw this amazing statistic, and I had to send it to my mentor. But overall, what we see is that companies bet big on capital spend. All right, so Zach, what is capital spend? What does this mean? Capital spend, aka capital expenditures, are those big expenses such as a building, such as a data center, such as a factory, such as large things that allows your business to operate on a commercial to scalable level, right? And when I saw this statistic, companies bet big on capital spend, I'm like, I want to talk about this. I really want to talk about this. So overall, let me give you a quick little synopsis. It says the country's largest companies are extending their reach and spending on capital projects despite an increasingly gloomy economic outlook. That is key. Despite an increasingly gloomy economic outlook. And what can be taken as a positive sign, businesses such as Pepsi, GM, Alphabet, that is Google's parent company if you're not aware, are dipping into areas like real estate as executives look to expand operations and boost growth in the challenging landscape. For the first time since early 2021, companies in the S&P 500, aka the top 500 companies in America, have spent more on capital expenditure than on stock repurchasing. 2/3 of those companies have grown capital expenditures by 20%. Okay, what are you saying, Woody? What are you saying, Zach? Let's take it from the top. This is how I digest these, right? This is the LinkedIn Digest. Overall, it says the country's largest companies are extending their reach and spending on capital projects despite an increasingly gloomy economic outlook. The first thing I think is companies are not thinking about this quote unquote recession nor inflationary environment that we're in. Now, hold on. I understand that everybody's circumstances are different. Trust me. I cannot make a generalization. Everyone is going through their own grind. What I'm saying here is that companies in the S&P 500 are still investing into themselves despite the outlook not looking so great. So why is we as individual people can't do that? It's not looking so good right now. Does that mean we stop obtaining different skills and tools and education to ensure that we can be ahead of the game? I thought this was very important because we think a lot about these companies and a lot of people idolize them, and we shouldn't idolize companies. But if a company such as a Pepsi, a General Motors, or a Google can invest in themselves despite a hazy economic outlook, we can too. Just because the stock market is down doesn't mean we stop investing. Just because real estate prices are a lot higher than they were in 2020 doesn't mean we wait for a downturn. We get in not trying to time the market, but we get in when we have done the research and we have done the different hurdles to ensure that this is a good investment. We can't stop investing just because there's a bad economic outlook. That's the key gist of this, right? Pepsi, General Motors, Alphabet, some of the top companies in the world are still investing into themselves. So that means we must continue to put our best foot forward in ensuring that we are doing things that is going to set us up. Now, a lot of the reason why they're investing more is because a lot of companies stockpiled cash during the pandemic, right? And a lot of things were going on. You start saving because you are a little bit nervous. But remember, companies don't save forever. Apple has billions of cash stockpiled, but they are utilizing those dollars to expand their business, to scale. So we don't want to hold money as a community as an individual, as a group or organization that is losing its value in the bank. But what we want to do is invest into great investments. What is a great investment, Woody? In my mind, at the age of 24, I'm going to pull the age card, right? I believe that a good investment is debt that pays itself down, low interest debt. Low interest debt, for example, I'm quite transparent. I purchased a home. My interest rate was one of the lowest interest rates it's been in years. And now I have a tenant in my home that is paying down its mortgage. And from there, I'm also able to create cash flow for myself. In my mind, yes, I now do have a mortgage or quote unquote debt to my name, but it's debt that's paying itself down. And I am sure that I'm getting great people and I'm doing the work to ensure that I'm getting great people to pay down the debt. So this really stood out to me because I thought it was interesting that companies are still investing into themselves despite a gloomy economic outlook. I love to really read a couple of people's responses and listen. I am the opinion of one. This is my thoughts. Would love to get yours. But it looks like we got someone from Mark T. McLaren. He says, this is a prime example of lopsided capitalism. From big company and competitive viewpoints, it is the perfect time to squash competition before they have time to build up and compete with the larger companies. I concur. Most industries now have very few competitors and thus have a great market power over their costs and revenues. Anti-competitive regulation needs a complete overhaul to level the playing field. Ooh, well said, Mark. Well said. Letting the big boys rule their industries will result in harm to many. Capitalism without competition is capitalism gone awry. Make a reasonable profit is good, but unbridled greed is criminal. Now, there's some aspects that I agree on. There's some aspects that I don't with that statement. So from Mark, the key thing that I agree on is I think that with any category, any industry, you'll see that the better the amount of the more amount of competitors there are, in my opinion, the better innovation there is. For example, I play the game all the time. I love playing 2K. I love playing Madden, Call of Duty. But when you think about NBA 2K and Madden, what are we on, 23 now or 24? Yo, we're on the John Madden cover. Respect to him. In my opinion, Madden hasn't done a significant amount of innovation. Neither has NBA 2K. Two companies that I adore, EA and 2K. But I'm going to be real, and I think any marketer should. They have not done a ton of innovation. And here's my hunch. There's not a ton of competition. You remember there was NBA Live, but no one liked NBA Live because it wasn't cool as 2K. You remember Madden had 2K football, but no one liked, well, I'm not going to say no one liked 2K football because I actually truly loved it. But Madden was able to obtain the NFL contract. And since then, they have made very incremental updates to their game because they know they have the similar fan base. I believe that competition is healthy for an industry. It's healthy for a category in terms from the consumer standpoint, because when there's competition, in my opinion, you get better innovation. Now, in terms of what Mark is saying in regards to making a reasonable profit is good, but unbridled greed is criminal. People's opinions are their opinions. We live in a capitalistic environment. We live in a capitalistic country, and we know that people's ability to feel like they can hit 1,000 home runs and they will be known as the greatest baseball player of all time motivates them. Now, if I told you you only can hit 10 home runs because Bobby over there only can hit 10 home runs, so you can't pass him. Now, I'm going to let y'all fight over that. But what I'm saying is that I think in some ways the ability to be the greatest, to take yourself to the whole next level, whole new stratosphere, motivates people, motivates companies, motivate organizations to be better. And I also believe that competition is good for our industry. So the overall biggest thing I wanted to speak on this is that 2/3 of companies have grown their capital expenditure by 20%. Don't stop investing to yourself. because things get a little worry. Don't stop investing into yourself because, things are getting a little bit tight. I would say always invest into your best asset, the most cliche term, but your best asset is you. It's you. So continuously to bet on what you can bring to the table, I believe it's always going to pay dividends. So thank you so much for tuning in. Zach the Mac. Very thankful that you decided to stop by the channel, not because you decided to view this video, but because you decided to learn a little bit more about capital expenditures and about what's going on and about investing into yourself. And there's no more or there's no better investment than yourself. All right, peace.